October baseball. Games already underway. Games to go later tonight. Of course, we have NFL Week 5 to look forward to. College football Week 6 to look forward to. We have plenty to talk about. And of course, your fantasy football teams. No matter your record, there are opportunities to still cash in on the season. We'll talk about that throughout the show. We are right now exclusively on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We're going to do that for the next half hour, and then we're going to add the TikTok audience in as well. No matter where you're watching, no matter the platform, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. We're with you guys every single day, talking sports, having a lot of fun, and hopefully giving you guys a lot of good information so you guys can take advantage of the sports day every single day. But Fumble Sports is here for you guys, so wonderful to be with you here on this Tuesday. I put out some bets earlier. As you guys know, I put out my bets every day on the SHARPZ app, and I was kind of interested by this Tampa Bay Rays, Texas Rangers game. I'm hoping things change a little bit right now. I'm sweating it as a 2-0 lead for the Rangers. I took the Rangers to cover plus 2.5, but I did like the Rays to win, so hopefully we can see the Rays turn this around, at least for my bets. Curious to know what you guys like today in MLB. Also, of course, your fantasy football lineups. How can we help you? Trades, waiver wire, obviously also looking at your start and sit. So if you guys have questions on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, fire away for the next half hour. You're getting exclusive information. You're getting the attention. We're going to give TikTok an opportunity a little bit later. But for now, it is YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. All of those who are watching, your opportunity to ask some questions. While we wait for people to join the show and get their questions in, as always, I want to make sure you guys know we're available across all of these different platforms every single day. We broadcast every weekday at 5 p.m., every weekend at 10 a.m. So if you haven't done so already, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, hit the like button on the video. Goes a long way in supporting the show, getting those algorithms across these platforms to play nice with Butt Fumble Sports. We're going to give out some bets throughout the show. We're also going to give out some fantasy football advice. So make sure you guys are with us for the entirety of the show. That's sponsored by SHARPZ. You guys can check out all of my bets every day because I connected my sports book. Or you can also connect your DFS to SHARPZ. That way it shows up every day. We're also sponsored by Rival Fantasy. We'll get to some of their games that they offer a little bit later in the show. Getting a question here from Twitch. Should I trade Achan and Madison for Jonathan Taylor? I wouldn't give up Achan right now. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor projects to have a lot of value, but Achan right now is already providing value, and he's in a good offense. I do like the idea of getting rid of Madison and upgrading there. If this is the only way you could do it, it's just... I'm okay with it, G. Gallen. I'm not crazy about it. I'd actually be holding on to Achan. I'm always a believer in young running backs who just have a lot of speed, especially when they're in a good offense. Kind of is where I'm leaning. Jonathan Taylor's going to get plenty of opportunities when he's back, but I'm not as quick to throw away Achan as you are. Appreciate your question. If you're watching right now on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, throw your question in the comments section. Here to help you guys out with whatever you need. Fantasy football, NFL, college football, all my picks, all my bets. Of course, obviously, the advice to help you guys do well with your fantasy matchups. G. Gallen, great to have you as a part of the show. Hope you're a follower as well on Twitch. Dante, got a good question about a player prop here for Brandon Fat. Let's go take a look at it. Oh, I'm in the NFL, that's why. I was like, hey, why is he not showing up? Looking at his strikeouts, over, not the best implied probability already. Under's the better play. Under's the better play. It has been a very good trend. But Milwaukee, how are they as a strikeout team is really the question. And I also think you have to wonder, how long is he going to go in this game? Is he going to get you enough strikeouts? Because they're probably going to pull him a little quick. They might have a quick trigger on him. So I'd just be a little bit wary about it. It's a good trend on the over, but I'm not going to take it. I just don't have a lot of confidence in the starters these days. I always feel like they have a very short leash. Mark Gonzalez, MMA. Trade away Nico Collins and Rashad White for DJ Moore and Tyler Algier. It's tough. It's tough. I do think that's a good trade overall, but it's a little bit closer than I would like it to be. Only because I think we're seeing more value in the Buccaneers offense than we expected. I still like Algier more than White for the most part. But that said, Nico Collins is coming on so strong, and we've got to reevaluate DJ Moore given that he's in that Bears offense. I think I still like Moore and Algier, but Mark Gonzalez MMA, I feel like I'm taking short value and giving up long-term value. Jay Paris 16, or sorry, Jay Parisi 16. Sorry if I got it wrong on Twitch. James Conner, Jahmyr Chase, Najee Harris, Sutton, or Henry, Madison, D-Hop, and Evans. I'd rather have that first group, I think. I'd rather have Conner, Chase, Harris, and Sutton. It's very, very close, but I think that's the area where I'm leaning towards right now. Appreciate all of your questions. We are on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick for the next 25 minutes, and then we're going to let the TikTok audience in as well. But if you guys have questions right now and you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, now's the time to get them in, giving you guys that kind of personal attention for the moment. So make sure you get those questions in now. Like Luis Martinez, good afternoon to you. Would you do Ayuk, Kamara, and Hall for Olave and Laporta? I'd rather have Ayuk, Kamara, and Hall. I'd rather have Ayuk, Kamara, and Hall. Look, I really like Olave. I really like Laporta. I totally get that. But Ayuk has value. Kamara has value. Hall's going to continue to gain value over the next few weeks, I think, as Zach Wilson actually becomes a better quarterback. He really has value, I think, this week as the Jets play the Broncos. I think Breece Hall could maybe have his best game of the year. So with that said, Luis Martinez, I really like Olave and Laporta, but funny enough, I feel like both of them have performed really well so far, and I feel like once again, I feel like you might not be getting the better back half of the season end of the deal. So Luis Martinez, that's where I come out on it. Appreciate you guys being with us. Make sure you guys hit that follow button no matter what platform you're watching on. Hit that subscribe button. Here to answer your questions. So fire away, whether it's on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. We're on those three platforms exclusively for the next 23 minutes, and then we'll let the TikTok audience out of the cage and let them get some questions in as well. But if you guys are watching right now on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, get those questions in. We're keeping our eye on some of these baseball games that are going on. Right now, the Rays, sloppy baseball, really sloppy baseball, and that's what's led to a Rangers lead so far. Curious to see if that game plays out the way it has so far. Once we get into the bullpens, I always think postseason baseball takes a massive U-turn. I've seen too many times the starter dominates, and then once you get into that bullpen, that opposing offense all of a sudden feels like it has new life. So I'll be curious to see how it plays out today. Again, if you guys have player prop bet questions for MLB, definitely here to help out with those like we did for Dante. But if you guys have NFL questions, fantasy football questions, fire away, here to help you guys out. Farika, great to have you. Welcome into the show, Farika. Hope you're having a great afternoon. It's so nice to be able to be in this part of the season. Every time when I worked in large sports media companies in the past, October was always thought of as kind of the blessings of all blessings. You had football, you had college football in their prime matchups. You obviously had the playoffs for MLB, you had NBA coming back, NHL coming back. You have fights for UFC, you had fights for boxing. It always felt like just a great time of year overall. And by the way, I'm sure I'm probably missing something. Oh, the WNBA has its finals, which is, by the way, a great matchup. Really excited about that. Does Outlier have updated stats for props? Normal research, the matchup info is gone from MLB. Oh, I hadn't seen that yet. Because we were using it a little bit earlier, so I wasn't thinking it was an issue. If we go to player prop bets, we were using it earlier. And I wasn't having any issues with it. Looking at some of our favorite players to get a hit today. Alec Boehm. It's actually it's interesting. Alec Boehm is number one, tied with William Contreras. I had William Contreras in one of my player prop bets. Interesting Springer there. Christian Yelich, not surprised that he's there. Trey Turner, he has been red hot of late, Trey Turner, but he does not have a hit against the starting pitcher that he's facing today, Jesus Luzardo. So I'll be interested to see what kind of trend wins, the matchup or the hot hitter trend. So there's some stats for you guys to keep you guys aware of at least how the probabilities are playing out for some of these hitters. If you do want some of our favorite bets of the day, make sure you hit us up on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. We will be giving out picks throughout the day, probably once we get into the TikTok portion of the show. But fire away with those questions if you have them. Definitely here to help you out. RJ, is Bryce Harper over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs a solid play? Let's dive into it. Hits, runs, RBIs for Bryce Harper. 49% implied probability. The lefty-righty matchup, not a great look for him. Has been very hot of late, which is nice. Jesus Luzardo. Bryce Harper, really bad batting average against him. That lefty-lefty matchup really does not work in his favor. I know he's been hot of late, but I'm not as crazy about this one as probably I should be. Maybe because we're into the postseason, trends will be slightly different. But personally, I would stay away from Bryce Harper in this one. I prefer like a Nick Cast. Let's take a look really quick. Who are some of the hitters who have hit him really well? Nick Castellanos was the first one that came to mind. I already mentioned Bryson Stott. He's 4 for 5 against him lifetime. Couple of RBIs as well. They're saying the algorithm likes Alec Boehm. Interesting. Terrible average against him. Maybe he's considered very due. But the players that I really liked were Stott and Castellanos. Those were the two hitters that I really had my eye on. Sosa, if he's in the lineup as well. Curious to know. I assume he made the postseason roster, but we'll see. So, just a few notes for you guys. If you guys do have MLB questions, definitely here to help you guys out with that. Of course, we also have fantasy football to look forward to this week. So if you have fantasy football questions, go right ahead. Mark Gonzalez, MMA. Could Jacoby Myers be a good counter in place of Nico Collins on my previous question? Yes. I would actually almost, believe it or not, I'd almost like to keep Nico Collins more just because I like the quarterback situation more right now in Houston than I do in Las Vegas. And I think Nico Collins has upside where Jacoby Myers, I think he's got value. I don't know if he's got upside. Notice the difference there. Value is kind of present value. The upside, I don't know if you're going to get much from Jacoby Myers beyond what you're getting right now, especially as that team struggles through what is going to be a long season for the Raiders. Jordan, hope you're having a great afternoon. What's better, Jefferson, Stevenson, Goddard, dislike, I don't know what dislike, or Kelsey, Devontae Smith, and Cook? I'd probably go Jefferson, Stevenson, Goddard. I don't know what dislike is, but that might be the tipping difference in the deal. Diego Gonzalez, who do I play at flex? Goddard or Roshan Johnson? Or pick up someone like Wandale, Gallup, Wilson? I don't like the options on the waiver wire. So I think it's between Goddard and Roshan. Just looking really quick at where the Commanders are in terms of run defense. Commanders have actually not been a great defense against the run. They're in the bottom half of the league. So I'd probably lean slightly towards Roshan Johnson. I don't feel great about that, given that Herbert got plenty of touches before. But it's definitely one of the... Wow. The Rays are throwing this game away, man. The Rays are throwing this game away. Rays just gave up a run, and... Man, it's 4-0 Texas. I'm going to cash on some of these bets. I'm going to miss on some. I thought the Rays were going to win this game at home, and I thought that you get the Rangers to cover. Rays are losing this game, man. They are playing They are playing so poorly. Anyways, getting back to your question, Diego, I prefer Roschon Johnson over Goddard. Roschon Johnson over Goddard. Just because the matchup, I think, favors him a little bit more. I think you are risking it, obviously, with the idea of Herbert being in the lineup, but I've got to believe more so in Roschon Johnson just having more opportunities this week. So I'll go with him. If you guys are watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, fire away with those questions, everybody. We are exclusively on those 3 platforms for about 15 more minutes, and then we will let the TikTok audience in on the conversation. So make sure you guys fire away. Is Jesus Luzardo over 3.5 or 4.5 hits allowed a good trend? Let's go take a look at it. Jesus Luzardo, hits allowed. Jesus Luzardo, 3.5 hits allowed. Definitely a good trend if you can get the over 3.5. Very good trend. Very good trend. Let's also just look at the Phillies. Again against Luzardo. I pointed out maybe not too many hot names, but just enough. I think you get to 4 hits. I think you get to 4 hits. I know it's close. Let's take a look at it on the road. Stretch it out. Larger sample size. That's a very clean sheet right there. That's a lot of green up on your screen. I'm going to believe that the Phillies get enough hits on them, so I'll take the over 3.5. I don't like the 4.5, but the over 3.5, I like that a lot. So RJ, that's where I come out on this one. Just too much green up on my screen to not be in favor of it. Appreciate the question. If you guys have sports betting questions, fantasy football questions, fire away. I also have Herbert in my starting lineup. Man, you are living in a Chicago version of fantasy football hell, Diego. I don't know which one to go with, and yet I think that both are potentially good plays. Goddard, the question is, can Goddard get enough, not just targets, but opportunities to actually score points? And if you're in a PPR league, yes, because the targets have value, but you really need him to get touchdowns, and he's not doing it. And I think that's what's most concerning to me, is the lack of touchdown opportunities that Goddard is getting. They're not even focusing on him in the same way. So I would be concerned about that, Diego. I kind of lean in the direction of saying Roschon because of that. Appreciate the question, Diego. Hope you're having a great afternoon. Answering your fantasy questions, your sports betting questions exclusively on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick for the next 12 minutes. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're a member of this community because we're live every single day. There is not one day of 2023 that we won't be live. So make sure you never miss a show, never miss the opportunity to ask your questions. Make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and that way you're with us every day. Again, across Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. Great to have you guys with us. Get those questions in. Now's the time to do so. Otherwise, it's going to be a TikTok crazy world in a few minutes. But now's the time to get the kind of personal attention that you want. I always want to feel like the people on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, I always want to prioritize them a little bit more. I value you guys so much in your watch time, especially on YouTube. So for all those watching on YouTube, I definitely prioritize you quite a bit. So make sure that you guys are with us. Wow. I know this is a sports show. Major political news is the Speaker of the House was just voted out. Crazy, crazy, unbelievable. We are living in an unbelievable world, everybody. Butt fumbling all over the place. If you guys have fantasy football questions, since we're talking sports here, make sure you throw those questions in the comment section. Get them in now. Otherwise, we're going to go to TikTok in just the next few. Diego, I'm here for you every single day. You know that, Diego. You're such a loyal viewer. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you guys do have questions, get them in now. Now's the time. YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. They can be about NFL Week 5. It can be about college football Week 6. MLB postseason, the 2 games going on now, the 2 games about to go on. So we're here for all of it. I also just have one quick rant. If you guys do follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, you've already heard this, but I don't know how Aaron Boone kept his job for 2024. It is amazing that a Steinbrenner, I know it's not George anymore, but you would have thought that the son would have learned a little bit from his father about firing someone when you fail to get the results. The Red Sox have been so quick to make moves in their leadership. Meanwhile, Cashman and Boone, looks like they're going to survive another cycle with the New York Yankees. Absolutely crazy. I think at this point, the Yankees they're becoming second tier. They're becoming second tier. Not in terms of money, in terms of expectations. We are now no longer considering the New York Yankees in the same way. And I think Aaron Boone's a part of that. I don't take Aaron Boone seriously as a manager. I think he makes so many mistakes in the decisions that he makes. I think he's a great guy, but what he does as a manager, how he puts a lineup together, how he calls pitchers out of the bullpen, I don't like his managerial style, and I think it's an absolute mistake to bring him back. But Yankee fans, you're stuck with him once again for another season. Diego Gonzalez, think I should send out Nico and Herbert for Lamb? Yes, that I would do. Diego Gonzalez, it's a tough matchup this week, but season long, I like that. Yes, I would do that. RJ Renfroe, rumor on Panthers wanting to go all in with Bryce now and trade for a tier 1 wide receiver. It's kind of funny because they gave up DJ Moore to do that. If they just lost and they didn't try and push, I don't know. If they just lose, you might get the chance to get Marvin Harrison Jr., who is the best wide receiver, not just in the country. He's going to end up... Marvin Harrison Jr. is, as long as he stays healthy, he is... Can't miss. Can't miss. As long as he stays healthy, he's got all the talent in the world. So if I'm the Panthers, I don't know if I'd want to give up draft capital. You've already given up enough picks as it is. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Jamar Chase, Najee Harris, or Madison, D-Hop, and Evans. I'd rather have Chase and Najee Harris. Chase and Najee Harris. Woobach, baby. Got offered Mostert for Nico Collins. Chubb is out. Barkley still injured. Thoughts? I'd like to have Mostert. I believe in Mostert long-term this season. I like the running game of the Dolphins. Obviously, it'd be nice if you had Mostert and Achane, but Nico Collins, I really like him, but as we're seeing right now on the waiver wire, it is so much harder to find running backs right now on the waiver wire. You can find wide receivers who may pop, running backs who could pop. That ship has sailed. It's going to be really hard to find them right now. Unless injuries come through, unless injuries occur, it's going to be find the next tier of valuable running backs. So if you have Mostert, keep him. If you can get him, get him. Seth. Trade Mixon for James Cook and Jalen Reed. I'm okay with it because I'm not as high on Joe Mixon as everybody else. That said, I do feel like you're getting two lesser pieces for Mixon, but Reed has been an impressive player. It's just as Christian Watson comes on, I expect Reed's targets will go down just a little bit, but he's been a good deep threat option. Overall, I think I like it just because you're adding a little bit of depth at an important time of the season. If you guys are watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, get those questions in because now is the time, giving you guys the personal attention across these 3 platforms, and then we will add the TikTok audience in just a few minutes. Of course, we're here for sports bets, fantasy football, and everything related to sports. If you guys want to rant about sports, if you want to rant about your fantasy football teams, your bets, did you have a bad beat? Did you beat your opponent by only 1 point because Patrick Mahomes slid at the 2-yard line? We're here for all of it. Butt Fumble Sports just loves talking sports every single day. I hope you guys join us every day. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're a member of this amazing community. We are growing to 65,000 followers across all of our platforms, and that is thanks to you. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button on the video if you could. Goes a long way in getting that algorithm to go, oh, Butt Fumble Sports, we should tell other people about them. We're going to let this TikTok audience in about 5 minutes, everybody, in about 5 minutes. But for now, we are going to continue to give you personal attention. So if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, get those questions in now. Running out of the opportunity to get the kind of personal attention I know you guys want. Meanwhile, the Rays just absolutely defensively choked away their day. We'll see how this Twins-Blue Jays game has gone, or will go. The Twins have not won a game in the postseason in a long time. In a long time. RJ Renfro, should we try to buy now on Higgins with the injury? I think it's a really creative idea, RJ. I absolutely think it's something you should consider because there is no one on the waiver wire who will have the kind of value he does. So if you could pick him up through a trade in which you're not giving up too much, I think it's a great idea, RJ. And I think you've got the right mentality, which is look for the value. And even if you're stashing him on a bench for a bad week or you're kind of riding it out, if I had told you at the beginning of the year you could get T. Higgins on your bench and you only had to give up, a backup running back, a flex wide receiver, you would have taken it. And I still think there's value there. Yes, he is a little banged up, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term injury. So I think T. Higgins ultimately, I think the Bengals are teetering on done, but the point is there's still so much season left that it's not like they're just going to put him and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in safety glass and will protect them the rest of the year. They're going to get on the field. So sooner or later, T. Higgins is going to provide some of the value that we expected. Just might be later in the season. You can take advantage of it. Great idea. Jorge, I'd go C.J. Stroud. I know he doesn't have the greatest of matchups this week, and Love has a much better matchup against the Raiders. That said, Stroud has impressed me. He has. And Jordan Love, he throws some good deep balls, but overall, C.J. Stroud and what the Houston Texans are asking Stroud to do versus what the Packers are asking Love to do, I love what I'm seeing from C.J. Stroud. So, Jorge, I'd go with Stroud. Final few minutes of being exclusively on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick before we let the TikTok audience in. Might not be able to get Lamb trade done. Would you trade K9 and Herbert for Pollard? Yes. Yes, I probably would. I really like K9, but Pollard has got to be a top 5 running back right now. Just so valuable, especially as the Cowboys offense develops more from a passing standpoint. It's only going to help Pollard more as we get later into the year. That said, Cowboys have a tough schedule ahead, so if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, get those questions in now. Final few minutes where I'm just focused on you guys. And the Twins take a lead. Royce Lewis. Wow. The Minnesota Twins. That didn't take long. They're finally not playing the Yankees. That's why they're off to such a good start. Final few minutes here. If you haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're letting everyone on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, outside in your own world. Let people know about Butt Fumble Sports. We're live every day, talking sports, having a lot of fun with it. Hopefully informing you guys about how to make better bets, how to build the best fantasy football team, how to help you build a DFS lineup. So, here for all of your needs. Get those questions in. Jorge, Ferguson, Kmet, Henry, or Higbee with Njoku on the bye. Hunter Henry would probably be the one. Slightly over Higbee. It's close, but I'd go Hunter Henry. Thanks for the question, Jorge. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. I just want you guys to know I am so grateful for this audience. I am so grateful for the support that you show Butt Fumble Sports every day. It is so great to have so many sports fans who just love talking sports and want to be a part of the conversation. So thank you. It is so much appreciated. Some interesting outcomes early. Rays in a tough spot. Blue Jays giving up some early runs. Is the AL East a little overrated? Question mark. RJ, I bet it was awful. But I'm not surprised. We talked about it. I thought the Raiders were going to lose, but they kept it closer than a lot of people expected there for a little bit. So, who's winning the World Series? I would go with the Braves. I think the Braves are going to beat the Astros in the World Series. I said that yesterday. I like it today. I just feel very confident in that. I think the Atlanta Braves are absolutely the best team right now. Okay, guys, it was wonderful talking to you guys on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick exclusively. We aren't letting you guys go just yet. We are still staying live, but it is now time to welcome in our YouTube audience, or rather, forgive me, it is time to welcome in our TikTok audience. So for all of those on TikTok, welcome into the show. But Fumble Sports, as always, is live every day at 5 p.m. on TikTok. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe. And if you are on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, we're not done with your questions just yet. Feel free to put them in. Definitely here to help you guys out. No matter the platform, no matter where you're watching, or no matter what the sports question is. You can ask any kind of sports question you need, and we're here about it. John Johnson, do I trade Christian McCaffrey? He's great, just worried about the amount of usage he's getting. I both agree with you, and yet at the same time, I feel like Shanahan, of all people, knows how to use him the best. So I'm going to trust Shanahan, and I would keep him. I wouldn't let him go, John. He's just too valuable right now. Thanks so much for the question. Great to have all of you guys joining us, as always, every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Wonderful to have you. Doc McLovin, should I start looking at starting Nico Collins? So he's got a really tough matchup this week against the Falcons. I'm not as crazy about him this week as I would have been in the past. But that said, I would consider him in a flex option. Ghost Pepper, trade Kyren Williams and Terry McLaurin for Chase and Laporta. Oof. Yes, the answer is yes, I would. But I think both Kyren Williams and McLaurin, I think McLaurin's going to have a really good week. And I think Kyren Williams has value. So, little tricky. How you doing? Max, great to see you. Wonderful to have you as part of the show today. Get those questions in, Max. I know you have them. Hoyt Stewart, thoughts on the Cowboys defense? I think they're in for a rude awakening this week. I think the Cowboys defense is riding high after facing the Patriots. Well, you know what? The Patriots are a dog poop offense. We've seen what this Cowboys defense can be, even against better opposition. So I think that if I'm the Cowboys, I would remain as humble as I possibly could, because I think the San Francisco 49ers are about to lay the smackdown on them. Diego Gonzalez, do you think Pacheco is a sell high coming off a big game? To me, he's not a sell high, he's a keep. I think he's proven his value. I think the running style that he possesses is one of the things that team likes most about him, and what Andy Reid likes most about him. I wouldn't give up Pacheco right now. He's absolutely somebody I'd be keeping. Stroud over Kirk. Really interesting question there. So again, CJ Stroud has a bit of a tricky matchup this week going up against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not as crazy about him. Kirk Cousins going up against the Chiefs. Interesting one, but I kind of like Kirk Cousins. I think he's a better play. So I lean towards Kirk Cousins over CJ Stroud. It may not be one that comes across at first blush as a good play, but I think it's actually the one that's going to provide you more points when the dust settles. Chris McCoy, Puka for Waddle, yes. I'd rather have Waddle right now. Chris Films, non-PPR traded Mike Evans and James Conner for Aaron Jones. Think you maybe gave up a little bit too much. I understand in the non-PPR. Funny enough, I actually think that's one of the reasons it's not as valuable. If Aaron Jones in a non-PPR, he's not as valuable a player, so I'm not as high on it. I think I'd rather have Evans and Conner. Owen Pham, trade Ayuk and Brees for Ridley and ETN. I don't want to be that loaded on the Jaguars offense, given that it's disappointed a bit right now. I think Brees Hall actually has some good weeks ahead of him, including this week against the Broncos. Jacob, should I trade Amon-Ra, Mixon, Cook, Higgins for Adam, Swift, and Achan? Yes, I actually would, Jacob. That's a loaded trade, but yes, I would. Jacob, I would do that deal. Clark B, I traded DK and Jonathan Taylor for Jamar, Nico. I think it's going to end up being a pretty fair deal. I think in the end, it's actually going to be pretty fair. It sounds like the other guy's getting the better players just because of brand name, but I think Nico Collins will probably offset any loss that Jamar Chase doesn't provide. George Savman, would you trade Hollywood Brown and Kyron for Devontae Smith and Ramondre? Yes, I would. George, I'd rather have Smith and Ramondre Stevenson, so George, I would make that deal. Hayes, A.J. Brown, and London for Saquon and Devontae. Really interesting question. I think I'd rather have Saquon and Devontae. I don't like the idea of giving up A.J. Brown, but if you're swapping him out for Devontae and upgrading at the running back position, I like that very much. User, trade Amari Cooper for James Cook. I wouldn't do that. I'm not as high on James Cook as other people are. We answered Jacob. Ryan, start Nico or over Puka this week if Kupp is in. The answer is no. The answer is actually no, believe it or not. So they're playing the Eagles, and the Eagles have been really bad against the pass so far this year. So I have to believe that Cooper Kupp and Puka are going to be good plays this week. Ryan, I know it goes kind of contrary to first thought, but Nico Collins is actually facing the tougher defense in the Atlanta Falcons, so I'm going to stay with Puka over Nico Collins for this week. Thanks for the question, Ryan. Colin Daughtry, if Kupp plays, is he a start? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. BZ Sock 11, I'd go Stroud over Love. Just barely. Stroud over Love, just barely. EDU. I'm going to lean towards Romeo Dobbs. I'll lean towards Romeo Dobbs just slightly. Nope, moderators, nope, don't need your help. Thanks, though. Christian Kirk or Jordan Addison. Sal, I'm going to go Jordan Addison. Sal, I'm going to go with Jordan Addison on that one. Traded Puka and Jahmyr Gibbs for James Cook and Hollywood Brown. I'd rather have Puka and Jahmyr Gibbs. Josh W. Trade Nico Collins and Waller for David Montgomery. I have Laporta. It just means you're very loaded on the Lions offense, so I'm not as crazy about it as you are. I like getting Montgomery, but because I like that the RB1 having him in there, but you're very loaded on the Lions offense all of a sudden. Rick, I'm going to lean slightly towards Kirk Cousins. Jordan Love, I'm a little worried about. I know he's facing a Raiders team that he should be able to take advantage of, but I don't trust Jordan Love as much as other people do. If I'm looking at defenses against the pass, and the Raiders are a better defense against the pass than you think. Yeah, they're top 12. So I stick with that. Kirk Cousins. User 89, I'd go Brian Robinson. You got to go Brian Robinson this week against the Bears. Brian Robinson's a must play. Colin Daughtry, I'd go Achan. I'd go Achan against those Giants. I like that matchup. Jesse, Jessey, should I trade Mixon and Puka for Pollard and Amari Cooper? Yes, Jesse, I like that deal. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a member of this amazing community. It's growing every single day. Thanks to your support, make sure you're a member of this great community. Jacob Vines, great to see our logo in your comment. Traded Puka and Mostert for Godwin and Jacobs. I think I'd rather have Puka and Mostert. It's very, very close. I think you kind of you traded for the brand names, but I actually think Puka and Mostert might end up having more value. It's very close, so I think it's a fair trade. I think it's one of those, again, where it's kind of brand name versus players that are off to a really hot start. So it'll be interesting to see who wins out. Jake, do you think hit-run RBI for Vladdy is good? Not as much as I did before his first at-bat. Mackenzie O'Hara, Addison or Watson? I'm going to lean slightly towards Watson, just barely. Jackson, just because he's a wide receiver one, Addison is not. Addison coming off a bad game. I think his stats will bounce back, but I'm not as crazy about it. Who's your favorite waiver wire ad this week? Well, at the quarterback position, I would say C.J. Stroud or Matthew Stafford, if you can get him. At running back, it's really hard right now. I'm saying Latavius Murray is probably the best running back you could get off the waiver wire. Maybe CEH, but like that's how desperate you are at the waiver wire position. As in terms of wide receiver, Jaden Reed, if he's available in your league. I would also consider Allen Lazard this week. Allen Lazard this week going up against Jets, going up against the Broncos. Broncos have been terrible against the pass, been bad against the run. So I think that he could be a good play for this week. Josh Downs of the Indianapolis Colts is someone I'd also have my eye on. I'm not as high on Calvin Austin III as some other people are, but Curtis Samuel is another one. So Curtis Samuel, Josh Downs, Allen Lazard, Jaden Reed, those are a few names that come to mind. Start 2, Olave, Ayuk, Kamara. I would start Olave and I would start Ayuk. Olave and Ayuk. Would you rather have Pollard or Kamara? I'm trading Puka for one of them. I'd rather have Pollard. Achan or Mixon. Jackson, I'd go with Achan, especially this week. Great matchup this week for him. Daniel F. Trade Hopkins, Hunter Henry for Puka and Jerome Ford. Yep, good trade, Daniel F. I like it. Good trade. Hugo G. I think Lazard could actually be the better play this week, as crazy as it sounds. Jose, Bears plus 6.5 versus the Commanders. Haven't looked at the spread yet, Jose, but I certainly like the Commanders on the money line. That's an easy one. I already have some bets with that. I took that for parlay. I took Seahawks on the money line last night, and I have the Commanders on Thursday, plus a couple other parlays as well. Thoughts on Jamison Williams? I think he's a good player to have. Just stash him on your bench. I think he's going to pop. Might not be this week, but over the course of the next few weeks, I think he's going to be a good player to have. Do I try to get rid of Kyron Williams? He has a lot of value right now, so maybe you can get a lot in return, but I don't think his value is going to go down that much. They don't have other running backs, and Sean McVay's pretty much let it be known. He is their guy. They're going to run him into the ground this year. Maybe they don't pay him, maybe they do, but the whole point is he has value in fantasy. I wouldn't move on from him too fast. Najee, Akers, or Najee Harris? Interesting question. I'm going to lean slightly for the moment, believe it or not. I really want to say Cam Akers. I got to check the stats really quick. Let's look at who's been the better defense against the run. And Najee's playing the Ravens. Yeah, they're around the same spot. Yeah, I got to go with Cam Akers. I just believe in that a little bit more. Dad's Life, trade Addison and Hill for Jefferson and Gibbs. I'd rather have Jefferson and Gibbs. I would. Hoyt Stewart, what should I do with Mostert? Keep him. He's a good play. His value didn't go down that much. Look, Achan got opportunities in the red zone. I'm not hating on Mostert too much. Adrian, should I trade Brian Robinson, T. Higgins, and Achan for Derrick Henry? No. Brian Robinson has value. Achan has value, maybe more so than Derrick Henry does. Mr. Clean, should I trade JT, Fields, and Ridley for Etienne and Richardson? No, you shouldn't. I'd rather have JT, Fields, and Ridley. Really, you're doing that just to upgrade at the quarterback position. So you're doing a lot of moves to upgrade at the quarterback position. No, I wouldn't do it. Is Darren Waller still even worth a start? Last night was so disappointing. He ended up 4-5 yards away from cashing on a player prop that I had in literally like 6 parlays. All he had to get was to 25 yards. That's all he had to do. Got to 21. So disappointing, but it really speaks to Daniel Jones. You got to feel like Brian Daboll is going to go to him and go, hey, get the ball out of your hands faster. One of the people you can go to is Darren Waller. Just look for him. But I don't have faith in the Giants offense with Saquon Barkley out. When Saquon Barkley returns, I'll feel differently. I think Darren Waller's a better play when Saquon's there because the linebackers have to commit to the run that much more. But right now, I'm really disappointed in what I saw last night. Gio and Deshaun on bye. Who would you go with? I lean slightly towards Derek Carr. I lean towards Derek Carr just barely. Appreciate all of you watching. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're a part of this amazing Butt Fumble Sports community that is live every single day on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure you hit that follow button right now. We are live every day at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you love the conversation, if you want to get more of our content, make sure you hit that follow button right now. And that way you never miss a show. You know every time we're live. Tua or Allen for this week, you got to go Tua. Tua against the New York Giants. Come on, Tua. Curve M. Yes, I would do the deal. Curve M, I think you're giving up maybe a little too much, but I like Jalen Hurts that much. Logan, I'd go with Tua this week. Lane Johnson, thanks so much for supporting the show, Lane. Would you start Zay Flowers over Ridley this week? Yes, I would. I don't know what the Bills' secondary is going to be without Tre'Davious White. It wouldn't surprise me if Ridley has a good game. But Zay Flowers against the Steelers, oh, you got to take that. So Lane Johnson, it's more about I kind of have some question mark doubts around Ridley. I don't have any doubts around Zay Flowers, so I like Zay Flowers a lot. Talbot, of course we do. Of course we check Twitch. Bad Ussy, only wet. Debo for Waddle. I think it's a fair trade. I actually think it's a fair trade. Yep. Do you think Cooper Kupp will play this week? Yes, I do. I do think he'll play. Connor, I would bench. I've got to check for a second. Hold on. I would bench James Cook. I like Achan and I like Connor this week, so I'd bench James Cook. Connor Donaldson, I would bench James Cook out of that group. Brent, would you rather have Jamison Williams and Dallas Goedert or Waller and Flowers? I'd rather have Waller and Flowers. Ayo, DeWitt, Ayo. Romeo Dobbs for DJ Moore? Yes. WT Sue J2. I would start Achan. Subject Z. Man, ETN for Puka. I don't like giving up the running back. I like Puka, but I don't like giving up the running back. Diego, I'd go with Anthony Richardson. Dom G4X. I think CeeDee Lamb is a start this week. Yes, I do. Apple user, no. Apple user 85, don't do that trade. Pimp G. Oh, your question just jumped on us. We've just hit our live goal. Sorry about that. Should I make the live goal more challenging? Sure. Let's see if we can get 20 tiny dimies. How about that? A little bit more challenging of a live goal for you guys. Lane Johnson, Tank Dell, or Mostert. I'd go Mostert. Sports, Kelsey and Waddle for Kupp, Thielen, Michael Thomas, and Goddard. Oh, you get Kelsey and Waddle? I like Kelsey and Waddle. Sports, I like that deal. I would do that. Cam, I'd go Christian Watson. I'd go with Christian Watson. Thanks for the question, Cam. Wizard of Oz, love seeing that logo in the comments section. Really appreciate it. Daniel F. Trade Burrow and Devontae for Mahomes, Nico Collins, and Brian Robinson. If you're getting Mahomes, Collins, and Robinson, I like the deal. Brecken, great to see you. Diego, once again, I'd go AR. I'd go Anthony Richardson. Mr. Lopez, need to drop one. I drop Moss. Pluex. JJ for McCaffrey, I'd do it. I would do it. Diego Medina, I wouldn't do that deal, actually. Diego Medina, I would not do that trade. Will Taylor play? I think he's going to play this week. I think Moss probably has some value this week, but they're going up against a tough run defense. I don't like Jonathan Taylor a lot this week either way. Titans have a good run defense, so his value starts in week 6 for me. Would you start Cooper Kupp this week or wait? I would start Cooper Kupp, though. I would start Cooper Kupp. Jose, Burrow or Purdy this week? I'd go Joe Burrow, just barely. Joe Burrow. Pluex, oh, I love seeing our special emotes or whatever they're called in there. That's awesome. Really appreciate the support you guys are showing us. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. Whether you're watching on TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, we are live across all of these different platforms, so hit that follow button right now. MopZill19, would you trade Deshaun, Chase, and Saquon for Allen and Pollard? Yes. Yes, I would. Max Hewitt, I would start Pacheco and Jones. Max Hewitt, I'd start Pacheco and Jones. Thanks for the question. Brecken, Taylor or Edwards at the flex? I'd go Gus Edwards. Brecken, I'd go Gus Edwards. Thanks for the question. Wizard of Oz, you want to be a moderator? Great, you just became a moderator. That said, I am not taking moderator, no pin tweets for this one. I'm just ripping through people's questions. So, Wizard of Oz, you're now a moderator because you subscribe. But I'm not going to, don't need the help right now. Yes or no, I get Devontae and Swift, and I give up Jones, Madison, Devontae. I like it. I would do it. Yes. Brooks, I don't think Puka's going to have fall off this week necessarily. Good matchup against the Eagles secondary. Oop and I. Diggs for Chase. I don't know if I'd give up Diggs right now. The chemistry's there. Should I play Jonathan Taylor? If you can avoid it this week, I would. If you're in a if you're in a dire situation, okay. But the matchup against the Titans is a bad one. Bradley, Trevor Lawrence, or Bryce Young? I got to go with Trevor Lawrence. Just a little bit more. Just got to check one thing. Against the pass this year, Lions, they've been okay. They've literally been like middle of the league. You were asking about Trevor Lawrence, the Bills. Bills are top 4. It's close. I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence, but I don't feel great about it. Thanks, Saul. Appreciate that tiny diny. Would love to hit that live goal. Diego, pick 3. Diego, I'd go Pacheco, Gibbs, and Bijan. Diego, I'd go Pacheco, Gibbs, and Bijan. Thanks for the question. Cam, traded Puka for Aaron Jones. I'm okay with it. We're ripping through everyone's fantasy questions, but make sure you guys hit that follow button. Live every day. Make sure you hit that follow button. Trade Montgomery for Aaron Jones. I'd rather have Montgomery right now. Khalil Herbert or Dameon Pierce or Courtland Sutton. I'm going to lean slightly towards Dameon Pierce. Just barely over Herbert. Close, but I'll go Dameon Pierce over Herbert. Thanks for the question. Dan Siegel. Trade Cook for Mostert, please. Yes, I would rather have Mostert. Dan Siegel, I'd do that deal. I'd rather have Mostert. ZR, would you take Love and Hollywood Brown for DK? I'd rather have DK Metcalf. I'm following back until 1,000. Tua. I'm following back until 1,000. I'd go with Tua over Kirk Cousins. Everybody. Devin, who would you take for a trade for Paul? Devin, if you could rewrite that question a little better, I'll answer it. Waffles, Chase for Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're getting Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm okay with it, but I'm not crazy about it. Jameson Williams comes back. There are some more targets going to another receiver. Jamar Chase has been under-targeted so far this year. I think that means his production will go up. I'd rather have Jamar Chase, Waffles, so I'd rather hold on to Chase. Ian Tribble, should I trade Amon-Ra for Najee and Nico Collins? I'd rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know how much value Najee really has throughout the year, and I'd rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown over Nico Collins, so I'd stick with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Zane, Michael Wilson, or Tank Dell? I'm going to go with Tank Dell, just barely, but I'll go with Tank Dell. Who should I start, Kittle or Ferguson? Ooh, it's a great question. I'll lean slightly towards Ferguson. I think that he has the greater opportunity to actually be targeted, especially in the red zone. I think there are so many weapons right now in that 49ers offense that I don't know if Kittle's going to get any opportunities compared to Ferguson. Damian, Jacobs, and Godwin for Devontae Adams. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I think there's too much value in the two players you're giving up. Christian Kirk or Tank Dell. I'm going to lean slightly towards Tank Dell for the moment. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you hit that follow button. John, trade Madison and Javonte for James Conner. Yes, I would. John, yes, I would, believe it or not. John Mignon, I'd do that deal. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. We are live every single day across all of our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So make sure you hit that follow button today, everybody. TFAM456, TFAM456. Should I start Kyron against Philly? No. Good run defense. I'm not crazy about it. Etienne or Pacheco? Chexy dude, I'd go with Pacheco. Chexy dude, I'd go Pacheco over Etienne. Who can I target if I trade Pierce and Warren? I wouldn't give up Dameon Pierce personally. I think there's value there, so I wouldn't give up on Dameon Pierce just yet. I actually wouldn't give up those two players. If you're packaging them, maybe like a Saquon, you could go as high as that. Certainly like a Mostert, but I think Dameon Pierce is valuable. I wouldn't give him up. Ian Grogan, I get Puka and James Conner for Mixon. Ian Grogan, do that deal immediately. Ian Grogan, do the deal immediately. Should I trade Dell for Dobbs? That's an okay deal. I don't really like it. I think Dell might have a little bit more upside. Interestingly enough, Dobbs is the safer play. Dell has more upside, especially in the division that he's playing. But it's a fair trade. User 58. I could see either way. I could talk you into either player. Shady Esco. I would go with CJ Stroud this week. CJ Stroud over Dak. I'm not as high on Keaton Mitchell as some other people are. Some other people are telling me Keaton Mitchell is a really good play. Like there are some people who on CBS are saying he's a good pickup. I'm not as high on it, so he could be activated from IR. I'm just not as high on him. I think there's a lot of risk there, so a lot of uncertainty. John, do I send Madison and Javonte for Connor or send Madison for... I'd rather have Brian Robinson. I'd rather have Madison trade him for Brian Robinson. I'd rather do that. Ryan, do I trade Dameon Pierce, Dell, and Judy for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jonathan Taylor? The answer is yes. I think I like Dameon Pierce a little bit more maybe than Taylor for the moment, but over time, that'll probably change. Tua or Lamar? Dean, I'm going to lean slightly towards Tua. Dean, Skifsky, I'd go Tua barely over Lamar. I like Tua a little bit more than I like Lamar. Cam on sticks. Trade DK and Ridley for Wilson and Devontae. No, I'd rather have DK and Ridley. Isaac Banda. I just traded JT for CeeDee Lamb. Yes, you did. You won that trade. Love it. Greg N. 123. Greg N. 123. Give up Puka, Moss, and Ertz for CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, I think that's probably a good deal. I think it's a good deal, Greg M. Straight Shooter, 12-9. I'd rather have JJ and Mostert. Logan. Man, that's tough. Between Kamara and Brian Robinson, I think I like Brian Robinson. I certainly like him more this week, I think. But it's very close. It's a very fair trade. Ryan, is Jonathan Taylor worth trading for? Not this week, but maybe after next week. This week against the Titans, brutal matchup, not as high on it. Dobbs or Stroud? I'd go CJ Stroud over Dobbs. Tyler Britt. Should I trade ETN for Achan? I don't think so. I'd rather keep ETN for the moment. We know he's the running back one in that offense. Achan splitting touches. Jonathan Spernanza. I'd go with Mostert this week. Jonathan, I'd go with Mostert over Javonte Williams this week. Cameron Cottom. Trade Henry for Kirk and Swift. Yes, I would. Cameron Cottom, I would do that deal. Dim. Miles Sanders and Matterson for who? Well, it sounds like you're trying to upgrade at the running back position, so maybe like a Stevenson, maybe a Mostert. Sounds like you're kind of what you're reaching for. Mike, who can I try and trade Drake London for? I mean, his value's down right now, so maybe T. Higgins if you want to swap out there. T. Fam, start DJ Moore versus Washington, Nico Collins. You got to start DJ Moore, I think. I think DJ Moore is probably the better play just for this week. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're a member of this community. We are live every single day across TikTok, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a subscriber. Wonderful to have all of you guys as a member of this amazing sports fan community here. We are live every day, every weekday at 5 p.m., every weekend at 10 a.m., so get your questions in. Ryan, do I trade away Puka now? No, I think Puka's still going to have value. Not just this week, but in weeks to come as well. Lane Johnson, I'd go Mostert this week. I'd go with Mostert. Mel, I have Fields and Goff. Should I drop one for CJ Stroud? Yes, I drop Fields. Pick two, I'd pick Dell and Dobbs. Wizard of Oz, great to have you as a subscriber. Wonderful to have you as a subscriber. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Carson, drop Burrow for Stroud. I mean, this week isn't a great time to do it. Next week would be better, but sure. Billy Bob, tank Dell and Montgomery for CeeDee Lamb and Warren. I'd rather have Dell and Montgomery, believe it or not. I think I'd rather have Dell and Montgomery. It's very close, but I value the RB1 more than the wide receiver one. Steely Dan fan. So I think Fields could have a good game this Thursday. I'm definitely taking Stroud, though. Even against a tough matchup, I'd rather have Stroud. Should I drop Burrow for Stroud? Toby, I just answered that a moment ago. The answer is you can. This week isn't the best time to do it. Should I trade Waddle for Mixon? No, I'd rather have Waddle. Toby, I'd rather have Waddle. Dean, Tua, and Metcalf for what wide receiver or running back? I mean, for those two, you should be able to get top billing. Again, a Tony Pollard. I mean, it's just hard. There aren't that many good running backs, so. Matty Lou, thanks so much. Wizard of Oz, I'd go just barely CJ Stroud this week. Just barely. Appreciate all of you guys being with us, joining us every single day. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that follow button. Matty Lou, 52. Do I keep Saquon? Yes, I would. I would keep Saquon because I don't know how much value there is outside. Who else could you get on the waiver wire in a trade? Matty Lou, 52. It's one of those. Maybe the option you have presently is the better option of compared to what you could get. The grass isn't always greener. Cam, Tank Dell, Jalen Warren, or Dalvin Cook? I'll lean Tank Dell number one, Cam, but Dalvin Cook, he could have a good surprise week because the Broncos are so bad against the run. But for now, Cam, I'd go Tank Dell. Tank Dell for now, Cam. Thanks so much for the question. Do I trade James Cook for Christian Kirk? Connor Donaldson? Yes, I would. Connor Donaldson, I would do the deal. Caesar Sebastian, I would keep Waddle. Caesar Sebastian, I'd keep Waddle. Wyatt, would you drop Trevor Lawrence and pick up Stroud? A lot of people are asking about that. I think I lean towards keeping Trevor Lawrence for now. I'm okay if you make the move, but Is Stroud going to continue to do this? Trevor Lawrence has started off to a slow start. It feels like eventually these two narratives are going to shift. So I'm not quite there. Aaron, should I trade Achan and Ridley for a better wide receiver? No, I like those two players right now. Should I trade Higgins for Laporta? Yes. Yes, I would if you need the upgrade at tight end. Dom, Puka, and Montgomery for Chase. You're giving up too much value. Giving up too much value. I know you have Cup, but I think you're giving up too much. I get it. You can, but I'd rather keep Montgomery and I'd rather keep Puka. West ZZ, my QB has a bye. Which one of these should off the waiver wire? The quarterbacks I like off the waiver wire this week are CJ Stroud and Matt Stafford. CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford, they're the two that I like the most. Jamie, Collins for Waddle. If you're getting Waddle, yes, I like it. Hector, hope you're having a great day. I would rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hector, I'd rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Farouz, I don't know if I should keep them or sell them. You're asking about Waddle and Olave. I like them both. I'd keep them both. I wouldn't give them up so quickly. So I'd keep both of them. Tutu Atwell or Michael Wilson? Ooh, brutal question. I think I'm going to lean slightly towards... I'll lean slightly towards Michael Wilson, just barely. I don't like it, but user 58, I'll go Michael Wilson just barely. Edgar... Should I start Achan? Yes, I would. Edgar, I would start Achan this week. Dean, could I get away with just Tua for Pollard or McCaffrey? No chance. No chance. Nolan, Puka or Collins? I'd go Puka this week. OJ Philbin, what MLB plays you got today? You can find them all on the SHARPZ app. By the way, Royce Lewis has done it again. Royce Lewis has 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats. Royce Lewis is on fire. Single-handedly has the Twins up. 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats. Royce Lewis absolutely owning Kevin Gausman. And the AL East is in trouble right now, as are some of my bets. Max Hewitt, Josh Jacobs, Jamison Williams, or Jordan Addison. I'd go Jordan Addison. Max Hewitt, I'd go Jordan Addison. Don Shua, do I keep Gibbs? Got offered Robinson and Gabe Davis. No, I'd rather have Robinson and Gabe Davis. AJ, I'd go with Zay Flowers this week. I'd go with Zay Flowers. Thanks so much for the question. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you hit that follow button. We're live every weekday at 5 p.m., every weekend at 10 a.m. Make sure you never miss a show. Hit that follow button. Charlie, I'd start Calvin Ridley. Charlie, I'd start Calvin Ridley. Marshall Green, I'd start Olave. Johnny Two-Teamer. I'd go Anthony Richardson. Johnny Two-Teamer, I'd go Anthony Richardson. Vince, trade away Madison, Higgins for Ayuk. Yes. Vince, I would do that deal. Daddy Ant. Should I trade Ford for Breece Hall? It's not a bad idea, actually. I think Breece Hall has some good weeks ahead of him. Farouz Tehran, I would start Breece Hall and I'd start Brian Robinson. Farouz Tehran, I'd start Hall and Robinson. Thanks so much for the question. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you are, make sure you hit that follow button. We're live every day. Little J. Lewis, Kamara, Howell, Kittle for Kelsey, Stafford, and Mixon. I'd rather have Kelsey, Stafford, and Mixon, I think. It's close, though. Gavin, start 2. I would start Mostert and Swift, but it's close. I'd start Mostert and Swift, but I like both the running backs, so it's a little tough. Should I sell Chase? If so, for who? I would keep Jamar Chase for now. Ryan, should I trade Jacobs and DJ Moore for Amon-Ra St. Brown, Herbert, and Lockett? Yes, I would. Ryan, yes, I would do that trade. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. So great to have so many of you regulars like Brant C123. Brant C123. Start Burrow, Dobbs, or Howell this week. How can you not start Sam Howell? I gotta start Sam Howell. Also, should I pick up Mike Wilson and drop Warren? I think it's an okay move, but I think it's a very flavor of the week kind of move. Puka or Cup this week? I'll go with Cooper Kupp. Got another tiny diny. Thanks so much, guys, for helping me hit my live goal. You guys are the best. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Pickens or Flowers? I got to go Flowers. AJ, I'm going Flowers. Matty Lou. I'd rather have Anthony Richardson. So, Daniel Soria, I'd go Anthony Richardson. Daniel Soria, I'd go Anthony Richardson. Banana 71, I would start DJ Moore. Banana 71, I'd start DJ Moore. Brant C, got your question there. Wonderful to have all you guys joining us every day. William Fenton, should I trade Jones, Gibbs, Ingram, and Wilson for Kelsey, Swift, and Davis? Yes, William Fenton, I would do that deal. That deal. Kegels, dude, Keenan Allen is on a bye this week. Who do I put in? Who do you have on your bench, Kegels? If you're looking to pick up someone off the waiver wire, if you're looking for a waiver wire ad at the wide receiver position, maybe Jaden Reed, Alan Lazard would be someone I'd also consider. A couple players you could potentially look at. Austin King. Oh, did I not set up that new live goal? I gotta set up this new live goal. 10. Okay. Austin King. Should I start Puka with Cooper Kupp or put Waddle in? I put Waddle in. Ryan Hazelwood. I'd go Christian Watson. Sal, I would go with Jordan Addison and Romeo Dobbs. Sal, I go Addison and Dobbs. Thanks for the question. Max Hewitt, I'd go with the Ravens defense. Hernan, who should I start as a flex? I gotta check one thing really quick. I want to see how the Saints have been as a rush defense. That's what I thought. Thanks so much, I appreciate. I'd go Michael Thomas. Thanks so much, Josh. Hernan, I think I'd go Michael Thomas, but it's close. Oh. Appreciate all those who are watching the show right now. Know you guys are appreciated. Mel, should I trade Madison and Nico for Breece Hall? No, you're giving up too much. Even in a dynasty, I think you're giving up too much. Lucas, James Conner, and Alvin Kamara for Cooper Kupp and Breece Hall. I think that's a good deal. I think that's a fair trade. Def not. Would you give up Eckler for Debo and Swift? Yes, I would. Hernan, so appreciate your support every day. Great to have you as a viewer. Josh, know you're appreciated as well. I appreciate 45. Kegels, I'd go McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's one of my favorite plays this week, guys. Love Terry McLaurin this week. Thoughts on Nico Collins? Tough matchup against the Falcons this week. Unless you don't have a lot of options, I wouldn't be crazy about him. Jeff Salinger, I'd go Hunter Henry. Laporta and Josh Jacobs for McCaffrey? Yes. Dean, yes I would. Jonathan, thanks so much. Ricky Bobby, thanks so much. I'm getting crowns of all different kinds. Ridley for Swift? I would rather have Swift. I'd take Swift right now. Love what I'm seeing out of him and that Eagles run offense. Junior, what's up? Junior, thanks so much for showing us love. Really appreciate it. Looking for your questions. Brecken, thanks so much. Mikkel, trade Fields and Kenneth Walker for Tua Gibbs and Aaron Jones. Mikkel, yes. Mikkel, I do that deal. Jordy, stick with Stevenson or trade him? I'd stick with him for now. Chipotle Warrior, would you trade CD for Waddle and Wilson? Yes. Chipotle Warrior, yes I would. Dallas Paul. McLaurin's going to have a good week this week, so you'd be trading him. You'd be getting him at a good time. Dallas or Lions defense? I'd go Lions defense. Hojo. I'd go with Goff. Landon, should I trade Metcalf and Ramondre for Eckler? I'm not crazy about it. Eckler's injury has me a little worried. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Brant C123. I'd go Olave and I'd go Lamb. Brant C123. I'd go Olave and Lamb. Ricky Bobby, I haven't seen your question, so... Oh, thanks so much, IP Shade 45. Ricky Bobby, I haven't seen your question, so if you could, just copy and paste it in the chat a couple times. I've been missing it, so I want to make sure I answer your question. Give up Hawkinson and Kirk for Waddle and Ingram. I have Tyreek already. I like it. I like the deal. Waiver wire running back. There are not many left. If I had to go with any waiver wire running back right now, I mean, as brutal as it sounds, I'd probably go with like Latavius Murray. I might, McLaughlin got some touches, so people are high on him. But I might go with, I'd probably go Latavius Murray would be number one. Michael Carter or Dalvin Cook. Those guys are both interesting to me if they're available in your league. Appreciate all those who are supporting the show. Brecken, Cowboys-Niners on Sunday night. Game of the week, no doubt. Should be awesome. Should be a great game. I got the 49ers. Appreciate all you guys being with us. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. Whether you're watching on TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, doesn't matter the platform. Make sure you hit the follow button. We are live every single day. We are live every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you love the conversation, if you love fantasy football, sports betting, you just love talking sports, if you like the conversation, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're a member of this community. Again, every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern, every weekend at 10 a.m. Eastern. Trade Achen for Barkley. I get Barkley. I'd be okay with it. Nick, trade full PPR 2QB league. Eckler, Kirk for Swift, Collins, and Daniel Jones. Man, I hate Daniel Jones, but I like Swift and Collins, so I guess there's value there. Juan, would you do Mostert, Godwin, and Herbert for Addison, Jacobs, and Swift? I think it's a very fair trade, but I'd rather have Addison, Jacobs, and Swift, Juan. I'd rather have Addison, Jacobs, and Swift, Juan. Zane, would you trade Swift for Devontae in PPR? It's a fair trade. I think I like Swift a little bit more, honestly, because he's going to get more carries than Devontae Smith will get targets or touches, but kind of an interesting move there. Spiros, drop London for Collins. At this point, I might be in favor of it. Yes, Spiros, I'd be okay with it. This week, it's not great for it, though. Landon, I have Puka, Hill, Smith, so DK is on my bench. What wide receiver do I target a package DK and Ramondre? That should be good enough to get you a Pollard. That should be good enough to get you one of the top running backs. Richardson or Jared Goff. This week, Daniel, I'd go Anthony Richardson, and I would go Pittman. Oh, sorry, Waddle. Richardson and Waddle. Daniel, I'd go Richardson and Waddle. I like Pittman a lot, but... Spiros, yeah. Twitch, Kick, YouTube, they're great places to get your question asked. TikTok can get a little nutty. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Just a few more minutes left of the show. Yoni, hit me up. Yoni, text me. Daniel F., he's had the best start for a rookie ever. Puka's been crushing it. Diego, pick 3. Love seeing our logo there, Diego. You know how to get my attention. I would go with Puka. I'd go with Lamb. Is Jamo Jameson Williams? I'd go Lamb, Puka, and I think for the moment I go Dell. Not as high on Pickens this week. Casanova Kenny, drop Burrow completely or bench him. Goff is my starter. I might start Burrow this week, actually. Brant C, do I start Cowboys defense? I don't have any. Then start him and just ride with it. Emmett, would you trade Eckler for Lamb and Christian Watson? Emmett, I would. Emmett, I would do that trade. Oh, Landon, I would do that deal. Landon, I'd do that deal. Run at 6. Should I trade Wilson and Sanders for Devontae Smith? Run at 6. Yes, I would. M. Dav. Should I trade Collins for Brian Robinson? Yes. Yes, I would. Appreciate you guys being with us. Alex, Purdy, Addison for Watson and Stafford. I'd rather have Watson and Stafford, I think. It's close, though. Very close. Should I trade Metcalf and Ramondre for Barkley? No, you're giving up too much value there, Landon. Too much value there. Last week, traded Ridley for Garrett Wilson, Ingram, and was clown. Thoughts after last week? I still might clown you. Dominic Gutierrez, Aaron Jones, Flowers, or more. This week, Dominic, I'd go Zay Flowers. Dominic Gutierrez, I'd go Zay Flowers. I would start Burrow. Casanova Kenny, start Burrow. I know, but maybe I'm just too big a believer. But I didn't like your other option. I wasn't as crazy about Goff. Goff is playing the Carolina Panthers defense, and if you didn't notice last week, Carolina Panthers, really good. Guys, we're not pinning tweets right now. If you didn't notice, the Panthers' pass defense really strong. So for that reason, that's why I'm not high on Jared Goff. So it's not so much I'm trying to sell you a bridge. It's more I actually think Joe Burrow actually does have the better matchup. Rommel, should I trade Christian McCaffrey for Kupp, Cooper, and Waller? No, I wouldn't give up Christian McCaffrey at all. I think Ridley still has some value at the rest of the year. I wouldn't give up on him too quick. I don't think he is as valuable as we expected, but I also think that he still has better weeks ahead, so. West African Medic, I'd go Howell. Sam Howell. West African Medic, I'd go Howell. Appreciate all you guys being with us. Cam, hoping to get Jake Ferguson, and I'm dropping Gainwell for him. I do like it. Cam, I do like the move. Great to have all of you guys with us. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports. We are live every single day. So make sure you hit that follow button. Stroud this week is not a great play. It's my username. Stroud is not a great play this week. He's okay, not great. Daniel F. Start Burrow or pick up Baker? I think I'd start Burrow. What other running back should I... Okay, Landon, a little open-ended on the question, buddy. Junior, I'd go Olave. I'd go with Olave. Guys, I'm going to hop off right now. I'm going to go get myself some dinner. We will be back on later tonight. So if you guys want to catch our show again, we will be back on later tonight. So DM us on Instagram if you want to get our bets. Otherwise, follow us right now. Hit that follow button. If you're watching right now and you want to catch our show later tonight, make sure you hit the follow button, whether you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick. We will do a show later tonight, so make sure you hit that follow button. We will be live later tonight, so make sure you hit the follow button, everybody. Hit that follow button. That way you don't miss our show later tonight. I will see you guys later tonight. I'm going to go get some dinner right now. I hope you guys stay healthy. I hope you stay safe. Hope you have a wonderful night. I will see you guys later tonight. Make sure you hit the follow button. That way you don't miss our show later. I'll catch you guys later tonight. Goodbye, everybody.